Today we're going to see if the all-new 2026 Hyundai Palisade XRT Pro can conquer our mountain test course. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. This episode of Driving Sports TV is brought to you by Onyx Off-Road. Click the link below to save 20% off your new membership using the code DSTV. This is the all-new 2026 Hyundai Palisade in the trail-ready XRT Pro trim. This features recovery points both front and back, underbody protection, 8.4 inches of ground clearance, all-terrain tires wrapped around 18-inch alloy wheels, and it even comes with terrain modes, which, so far as I know, is a first for Hyundai here in the US. Under the hood is a newly developed 3.5-liter direct-injected V6 engine, making a peak output of 287 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. The transmission is a standard 8-speed automatic. All-wheel drive is standard on the XRT Pro trim. And in the back is a clutch-based limited slip differential that is electronically controlled. Okay, now that we've covered all the basics of the new 2026 Palisade XRT Pro, it is time to put this onto our trails. And we're going to start off with something easy, which is the Rattler, and then we're going to make it a little bit more challenging and go over the Sidewinder, check its power shift left to right, and then finally we are going to hit the ladder, which is a very challenging and steep climb. Let's do it. Okay, let's start it up. Now we have a push button down here for the start, which I don't love. It's kind of tucked in a spot which isn't comfortable for my hand, but I do have big hands. Today's review is all about the off-road capabilities of this Palisade XRT Pro. Of course, in the past they had a standard XRT, but that was really just all-terrain tires and pretty much nothing else. It didn't even have off-road drive modes. Well, finally we have the XRT Pro here, and they've equipped it with Continental all-terrain tires, around 18-inch wheels, so we actually have a reasonable amount of sidewall. And of course we also finally get terrain modes. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And now we can pick between snow, mud, and sand. These will optimize the all-wheel drive system as well as the traction control systems to give us the optimal results in these various conditions. This all-wheel drive system does use a clutch-based power transfer unit in the middle, and so going into those terrain modes will also keep that locked as much as it can. It will allow slip, however, so that it doesn't overheat. And I do like that we have a new off-road panel over here, which is amazing. Gives me all the information that I need about my off-road setup, including transmission temperature, engine temperature, and oil pressure, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and start us off in terrain mud mode, which even Hyundai says that mud mode isn't just about mud. It's also for pretty much any terrain where you're going to be losing some traction. Now, clearances might be an issue today. This has 8.4 inches of ground clearance, which still is not even as much as the Subaru Ascent 3-row crossover. Hopefully it'll be enough today. We do, however, get a little metal skid plate in the front. It's so cute. I don't know how much help it'll be, though. We'll listen for bumping and grinding as we go, as usual. Okay, a little bump here. Are we going to rub? Ooh, a little rub, but just a kiss. So today is, of course, all about escalation. We're starting off with something simple here, the Rattler. We're going to listen for any dings or dongs as we go, and see if the rocks are going to basically scrape the underside, which will kind of give me a much better idea how to approach the later challenges. Now right here, I can tell that power is going fairly evenly to all four wheels, thanks to this little gauge cluster up here. So it is starting us off in a clutch locked position, which is nice. Now this doesn't have a rear locker. In fact, it's four-wheel independent suspension even. So we do not have a solid axle in the rear. So, you know, keep that in mind as we go. Okay, now our first real challenge is getting off of this trail. It's a very steep climb right up here. Turn off those parking sensors. Okay, let's line up and see how this does. Now for this one, I am going to keep it in terrain mode mud, and we're going to see how that works. If I need some additional wheel spin, I can always switch it over to sand mode. We're going to go ahead and try the hardline first on the inside. That's going to put us at a very steep climb, I think about 20 degrees, and we're going to see exactly how good the power transfer is on this system. See if we go up here, and I'm just going to let it lift us up. I don't want to cheat by just using momentum. Dude, what? It just shifted the power. Like, very little drama, very little concern. We just drove up as though no big deal. Very impressed so far. I mean, that, if you remember with the Subaru Forester Hybrid, it kind of struggled there and we had to take the easier line. This one just walked on up. Very nice. Okay, well, that started off really good. Now we're gonna go over to the Sidewinder and start to really put this thing to the test. Check out that turning radius. Well, let's start with the front camera too. Oh yeah, we got camera there. That's nice. Oh yeah. Okay. Take it gently for the bump again. Oh, little kiss again. No big deal. Okay. Well, now we're heading down the hill. Oh, this does have hill descent control. We can give that a try here. Because we're in mud mode, hill descent control is automatically enabled. It's the only terrain mode where it does that automatically. And at this point, I can just release off of the brake pedal and it'll ease me down at my approach speed. So this, of course, will try to use the brakes to keep me tracking true. It allows me to basically just focus on my line and nothing else. Personally, I don't really use hill descent control that often. I do prefer to use more of a crawl control system, which uses power and brakes if I ever need it. But, you know, it's more about, you know, what are you comfortable doing? Do you need that extra layer of comfort? Are you on a really tricky hill and you're not sure how it's going to deal with it? Well, then it's a nice feature to have. And of course, I can always just turn it off if I want to. Okay, let's go ahead and hit this. Listen for any actual impact. Oop, there's a little there. Let's pull out of that. Approach angle ain't so great. It is about 20 degrees, which is not a lot. Let's try to hit that from another angle here. Oh, I have auto hold on, which is kind of annoying because I have to actually add a little throttle to get moving forward. Let's see if we can go a little bit further in here. Maybe a little less grinding. Yeah, that's a little better. Oh, a little bit, but not too bad. Okay, then brake over, up we go. Okay, let's get ready for some side-to-side action. Now, I do want to point out that the front lower fascia on this has not only matte plastic, it also has some gloss plastic, which means that it scratches really easy, which is super annoying, especially on little approach issues like that one. So here we have a couple holes. We're going to take traction off the individual wheels, first the driver's side front, and I'm just going to try to slowly drive through this. I don't want to use momentum. I want to see the system do the work. How well can it apply brakes and shift that power left to right as necessary to keep us moving forward? So at this point, we should be lifting. Oh, let me get my camera on here so I can see that better. Yeah, there we go. So at this point, we should have no traction on this wheel or that wheel, and we're currently at a 12-degree angle. Add just a little throttle. Like, it's so good now. How did Hyundai get this good so quick? It's very impressive. Now, we still, of course, have some dimensional issues. Let's listen for this brake over grind, because we're definitely going to have some of that, I think. Yeah. Little rub there in the middle, but not too bad. Okay, let's go up the Sidewinder. Okay, just going to keep that throttle, going to keep marching up. So I have to say, Hyundai is like last to the game in the US here with traction control systems, but the ones that they're using are really good. Like, I'm not using momentum here. I'm just letting it push us up, and look at that power go down. What the heck? So good. Okay, and we're going to continue all the way up. I think we're ready for the ladder. Let's see how this does. Oh, nice. So of course the ladder is our most difficult climb, and a lot of vehicles have trouble with it. Now, if you're dealing with like something like a 4Runner or something with, you know, a solid axle and a proper set of locking diffs, it's no problem at all. It's a walk in the park. But for crossovers that use brake vectoring, it can be a serious challenge. So let's see how this does. Oh, can't wait. So here we are on the ladder, and we got to look out for not just a loose surface, but we also have boulders on it that we can kick up, so we want to kind of minimize that. So I'm going to actually try to spin the wheels as little as possible because it can be quite dangerous for the vehicle as you're flinging stuff up. But then the biggest challenge here is the fact that at the maximum here we have a 26-degree climb. That's about a 48% grade. Very, very steep. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm just going to try to, my first attempt here is going to be just slow marching up. And we're just going to see how it does under its own power. At a very slow crawl. Okay, shifting that power around. Really, really quite a lot of shift there too. I mean, it is obviously doing some work here. And it is just moving us forward. Oh, this is so good. Like, what the heck? So we had a little bit of a hole here. This is always a challenge because it's going to lift traction off one of the wheels. So it's relying on a single wheel to push us through. I'm just going to add some more throttle here. Because of that rear limited slip differential, power goes down where it's needed and the vehicle just climbs up. That is amazing. What the heck, Hyundai? I didn't know you had game like this. Okay, we do have one more climb out here. This is a little bit steeper, but it's a little easier because it's a little bit more even on the power distribution. There's no holes here or big boulders. But we are at 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, it's very, very steep there. Okay, well, let's turn this around and then we'll try the hill descent control system on that really, really steep descent. See how it does. Get this flipped around. Oh, let's flip it this way. And turning radius is quite good on this thing, and the camera system does work for turning, although it doesn't work very well as a trail camera because it just doesn't really have a good front view with wheel and body marks, but better than nothing. That was auto braking kicking in. Okay, let's go down and see how we do. Now at this point, hill descent control is on. I'm just going to lift throttle. This is actually kind of scary at this degree because this is very steep. This is a lot of metal moving. Everything's sliding forward in the back. My goodness, I am absolutely floored with how good the traction control system is in here. I mean, Hyundai, they were last to the party, but they did it right. This is a very, very aggressive, very competent and capable system. Now, if it only had better ground clearance, you know, because ground clearance, I'm rubbing on everything here. Okay, brake off, and down we go. We're gonna go into the hole there. Whoa, slipping me forward at 4 now. Okay, so it's the hill descent control could be a little bit better. It did eventually grab hold of things though, brought me back down to 2 miles per hour, which is good, but wow. Oh, I think we used the skid plate there on that rock. So impressed. So if you're looking for a family 3-row crossover that is going to get you to the trailhead, so long as you have the clearances to make it possible, Hyundai Palisade XRT Pro. I mean, they call this Pro, and it definitely is a huge step up from the old XRT. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share videos. We make them for you. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you enjoy this test of the 2026 Hyundai Palisade XRT Pro.